Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpack mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat. Hey friend, welcome back to Mindful Chatting, where we talk about the things that are usually left unsaid, especially when it comes to ADHD, emotional wellness, and being a human who feels deeply. But before we dive in today, I want you to take your moment. Grab your blanket, your warm drink, maybe a comfort object or your journal, because today's topic is tender. We're talking about the thing most ADHDers have done and felt awful about: ghosting. Specifically, the ghosting guilt spiral we get in. You know, the one where we disappear from people we actually care about and then feel too ashamed to repair it. Yeah, that one. Today we're going to explore why neurodivergent brains disconnect even when we don't want to, and that shame and avoidance cycle that keep us silent, and how to gently, honestly, and intentionally come back to ourselves and to the people we miss. So let's go there, but we're going to do it with grace, softness, and definitely no judgment. All right, I'm going to start off with a truth bomb. You ready? Most of us who ghost people, we don't do it because we don't care. That's actually far from the truth. We do because our brains and our nervous systems shut down when pressure, guilt, or overstimulation just hits us at a breaking point. And here's what that looks like with us with ADHD. You see a message, but forget to respond. And then too much time passes, so you feel a little awkward. And then you want to fix it, but don't know what to say, so you avoid it. Then you feel ashamed for avoiding it, and then it feels too late. This is what I like to call the ghosting guilt spiral. It's not about the relationship. It's actually about this executive dysfunction, rejection sensitivity, and that emotional dysregulation all colliding in one single moment. We don't just disappear, we spiral inward. We overthink, we catastrophize, we convince ourselves they hate us now, and so we stay gone. Not because we don't miss them, that's so far from true, but because we don't believe we're allowed to come back. Let's name what's underneath this, really. It's shame. Not embarrassment, shame. The kind that says, I'm a bad friend. I don't deserve to reach out. They are better off without me. I always ruin good things. This kind of shame doesn't motivate reconnection. It actually reinforces avoidance. And ADHD brains are especially prone to this loop because of rejection sensitivity dysphoria, or RSD. And that's the fear that any feedback will equal total rejection. We also have emotional flooding, when even a small task like replying feels absolutely huge. We have poor time awareness. We don't realize how long it's been until it feels unforgivable. And black and white thinking. If I didn't do it perfectly, I failed entirely. What starts as a missed text becomes an emotional mountain, and we disappear into our own shame. And the longer we stay silent, the harder it feels to reach back out. But here's the part I want you to remember. Disconnection doesn't have to be permanent. You are allowed to repair, even if it's imperfect. Most people don't need a perfect apology. They actually just want honesty. And here's how we can begin again to do that. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to start off with compassion. And no, not for them, for yourself. You didn't ghost because you don't care. You ghosted because you were overwhelmed. And that matters. Remember, compassion is about relation to suffering. I want you to relate to the fact that you were suffering, and that's why you got overwhelmed, and that's why that text got missed. Not because you're a bad friend, not because you don't know how to talk or reply or communicate, but you got overwhelmed, and we need to relate to that suffering. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to reach out with the truth, not performance. You don't have to explain everything. You don't need a grand gesture. Try something like, hey, I know I disappeared. I've just been really overwhelmed recently and I feel awful for not responding. I've thought about you a lot and would love to reconnect when you're open to it. Short, honest, not self-shaming, just human. And then, number 3, I want you to be okay with the space that might come. They might not respond. They might need time. And guess what? That's okay. Repair is an offering, not a demand. And then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to rebuild slowly. Consistency is more healing than over-explaining. Don't flood with guilt text. Just start showing up a little bit differently now. That's all they're asking for. And here's what I want you to say to yourself in case no one has ever said it to you clearly. You are not flaky. You are not unreliable. You are not a bad person for struggling to keep up with emotional labor. You are someone learning how to manage a brain that feels deeply, reacts quickly, and sometimes retreats as protection. Ghosting is not who you are. It's something you've done. And you can unlearn the spiral. You can return gently, honestly, and in your own time. And the people who love you, the real ones, they'll understand, or at least they'll listen. Next week, we're going to shift gears and go deep into a topic that blends nervous system work with self-organization. The Sunday reset that doesn't rely on motivation. We're going to talk about how creating resets that work even when your energy is low, and how to build a planning system for ADHD brains without relying on perfection or productivity, and what it looks like to reset with care instead of shame. It's part of our ADHD Planning Stack series, and it's going to be a game changer for you. Don't miss this. Enrollment for the ADHD Planning Stack pilot course opens soon. If you've been listening and thinking, I need a system that works with my brain, this is your moment. I'm also releasing new insights from my dissertation research on ADHD, emotional disconnection, and relationship repair, especially in women who are late diagnosed or misdiagnosed. So stay tuned. We're building something soft, strong, and sustainable together. Thanks for showing up for yourself today, for letting yourself hear the hard things without shame. You're not alone in this silence. You're allowed to come back to others and to yourself. But until next time, be kind to your brain. Be real with your people. And as always, be gentle with yourself.